Well, welcome to the AM News now. And the Electoral Commission has tonight broken its silence, defending its decision to hold a parliamentary rerun in Ablekuma North constituency. It says the polls were triggered by unverified results in 19 polling stations, firmly denying any external interference and reaffirming its independence. Deputy EC Chair Dr. Bosman Asare, speaking for the first time ahead of this morning's vote, also addressed security concerns and the role of the Ghana Police Service and the National Election Task Force. Michael Ashley was at a news conference and has this report.
The Electoral Commission has finally broken its silence on the lingering Ablekuma North election impasse. For months, the EC maintained that only 3 polling station results were outstanding following a chaotic collation process. But with no resolution in sight, the Commission says it had to act. Dr. Bosman Asare is a Deputy Commissioner at the EC.
25 polling station results were added to the collation. All the 25 carbonized polling station results were received from the MPP. It is important to emphasize that the said 25 pink sheets were not scanned pink sheets, but carbon copies from the MPP. Even though the NDC collation agents reported late that day, that is the 21st December 2024, the carbon copies had been authenticated. After the carbon copies had been authenticated by the return officer, the NDC agents were allowed to review and verify the 10 carbonized copies of the results presented by the MPP. Following that, the remaining 15 carbon copies were authenticated by both NDC and MPP agents for that day. They also reviewed the scanned pink sheets. This brought the number of collated polling stations to 278. Thus, 3 polling station results became outstanding. The NDC at the meeting raised a number of issues and followed up with a letter to the Commission. The Commission responded to all the concerns raised by the NDC in their letters dated 17th March and 30th April 2025. Among the issues raised by the NDC was the lack of formal invitation to participate in the collation process, denial of involvement of NDC agents in the collation of the 25 scanned pink sheets on the 21st of December 2024, and concerns about the use of scanned pink sheets from the MPP.
Dr. Bosman Asare also expressed frustration with the Ghana Police Service, which he says failed to provide adequate security to complete the collation earlier.
The Commission intended to move the ballot boxes to a more secure location. Party supporters invaded the premises of the Kwashiman cluster of schools and set fire to the library where the ballot boxes and BVDs were kept. All the ballot papers were destroyed in the process, thereby denying the Commission the opportunity to use the ballot papers to complete the collation. To date, the gentleman who perpetrated this crime, though he recorded its illegal act and circulated it on social media, has not been arrested.
In a surprising turn, the EC now says it will rerun elections in 19 polling stations, not just 3. Dr. Bosman Asare offered this explanation.
The Commission came to the conclusion that it will rerun the election in 19 out of the 37 polling stations. The Commission arrived at the decision to rerun the election in the 19 polling stations because the 19 scanned polling station results used for the collation, though approved by agents of both political parties, were not verified by the presiding officers responsible for those polling stations. The Commission was able to secure the confirmation of 18 presiding officers of their scanned pink sheets. The Commission was of the view that once its officers were legally charged to conduct the elections at the polling stations, and they have also confirmed the scanned results, there was no need to rerun the elections in those polling stations.
The EC also flatly denied claims that political influence played a role in its latest decision.
We state categorically that Ghana's electoral management body is an independent body and will not be dictated to by any person or institution.
With police assurance now in place, the EC says it is ready to conduct a free and fair election this Friday.
The aftermath of the 7th December election, the processes to complete the collation in 12 constituencies have created fear, not only in our staff, but voters in general. We trust that the police and the National Election Security Task Force will provide the needed security before, during, and after the process so we can vote and work in peace. On our part, as the electoral management body, we are desirous of bringing the election in the Ablekuma North constituency to a conclusion and to ensure that the constituents have a representative in Parliament. We have thus provided a path to complete the collation process so as to ensure that the residents of Ablekuma North have a representative in Parliament. We assure the public and the political parties that, as always, we will live by our motto and ensure that the rerun is fair, transparent, and credible.
For Joy News, Michael Ashale.
Now, still staying on that particular election, several MPP MPs are throwing their weight behind the party's candidate despite an official directive to boycott Friday's rerun in 19 polling stations. Meanwhile, NDC MPs say they are ready and believe they will win the seat. Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Kwekwa Sante has more from Parliament.
PP's official position regarding the Ablekuma North Rerun has been, we will not participate. But the party's parliamentary candidate says she's contesting. Some members of parliament are already throwing their support behind her in the open defiance of the party's decision to boycott the rerun.
I hope you are aware that the 19 polling stations that have been put out for contest for rerun, all the 19 stations, most of them are for MPP. Yes, that is it. So it tells you we have an edge over the NDC. And we are hoping, because even though the party stance is that on a matter of principle, we are boycotting, the individual believes that he has an edge. And we also need to go and support and make sure that he wins.
Best approach to this election is through the candidate herself. I have spoken to the candidate about twice today, and I get the impression that she's on the grounds. We know that circumstances are making us go through this election the way we are supposed to go through. I know that we won the elections. The people of Ablekuma North will reward Akua once more. 19 polling stations. If you check 2020, we won about 14 out of the 19. 2024 to the same thing. And so clearly I think that we have the majority.
Well, I think our chances are bright, even though the party's position was that we will not contest. But the candidate herself is saying she will contest. So she has a stake and she has made a decision. I think our chances are bright.
But some NDC MPs who have already been to the constituency to offer support to their candidate, Erobina Obin, believe they will win the Ablekuma North constituency seat for the first time since 2000.
I don't think somebody should sit and calculate that I'm going to vote for opposition member to go and be in opposition for 4 years in parliament. No. There are good things on the table that people need in Ablekuma North. And Ablekuma North have to taste a change to know how good it is. Always have the mind that you will change. If you change, you see the difference. So all that I will urge Ablekuma North is this time they should vote NDC because there are good things in the pipelines and they will need it. The youth will need it. They will need the jobs.
I was there to support our candidate in campaigning, and looking at what is happening, I think it's a day for NDC. NDC is going to have one more candidate and one more representative MP in Parliament. And we will continue to work for the people. The Ghanaians are enjoying the fact that NDC is in power. They see the dollar under control. They see things changing. We are resetting the country. And so the more people will have in Parliament to support us to do that.
The election will decide whether or not the NDC on its own have 2/3 majority in Parliament by securing the needed 184 seats to be able to do significant changes in terms of the political system, but also whether or not the MPP will win this to signal their readiness for the 2028 election. Reporting for Joy News, Kweku Asante, Parliament House, Accra.
Well, away from Ablekuma Rerun, let's do other stories. And Food Safety Coordinator and Head of the Consumer Education Department at the Food and Drugs Authority, Joycelyn Adeline Ejakwa Amusa, is urging Ghanaians to ensure that the food they purchase is safe and healthy for consumption. Speaking at the Durban in Wa to mark World Food Safety Day, she emphasized that food safety begins at the source and called on consumers to buy only wholesome and properly handled food items. Joy News' Upper West regional correspondent Rafiq Salam reports from Wa.
World Food Safety Day is commemorated annually on June 7 to raise awareness about the importance of safe food and its impact on human health, the economy, and sustainable development. It highlights the shared responsibility in ensuring food safety across the entire supply chain from production to consumption. This year's event was held on the theme Food Safety, Science in Action. The Food and Drugs Authority, FDA, in partnership with the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, of the United Nations, marked the day at the World Market with a deba to educate and sensitize the general public, especially market women who are selling food products, to ensure that they employ safety measures before they are sold out for consumption. Joycelyn Adeline Ejakwa Amusa is Head, Food Safety Coordinator and Consumer Education Department at the Food and Drugs Authority.
Some of the microbes and the germs, their activities are such that once toxins are produced, there's no way any amount of heating or cooking would take off these toxins. And these toxins are poisons that the microorganisms have produced into the food. So we are saying that when you come to buy raw materials or ingredients, make sure that they are wholesome and not rotten.
Upper West Regional Director of FDA, Calvin Sompal Dafar, also spoke of the need to put food on cold temperatures.
If you eat the food up to a certain temperature, it's likely to kill what? Certain bacteria. There's also a reason why we have to keep food what? Under cold temperature. The reason is that certain bacteria are not able to survive under those temperatures.
Also present at the function was the Wa Mayor, Alaji Sanu Rodawana.
We are here to let you know that our health, our future, everything depends on the way we manage our food stuff.
The streets of Cape Coast came alive as Ghana Insurance Association staged a float to raise awareness about the importance of insurance. The float on the theme Inclusivity and Accessibility, Purpose Beyond Profit marked the 2025 Day of Insurance Awareness. The association CEO, Kingsley Kwesi Kwabason, said that most of their clients work in the informal sector, making public education crucial to help them understand and make informed choices regarding insurance policies. Abigail Esel Nkrumah has more in this report.
With many people still unaware of how insurance works or why it matters, the float was a means for the Ghana Insurance Association to educate. Kingsley Kwesi Kwabason, the CEO of the association, explains the significance of the float.
Oftentimes, it's been alleged that we sit in our offices without getting to the people who really matter. If you look at the fact that about 80% of our workforce are in the informal sector, it's just right that we reach out to them. And so the essence of this particular program is to find a way of explaining what the insurance policies are and the benefits that we are likely to give to our members, not just our members, but to the general public. It will interest you to know that on a daily basis, we pay over 10 million Ghana cedis as claims, but people are not aware. And so we're here to explain for them to understand that there's all to be gained from having an insurance policy in one form or the other.
The regulator of insurance companies in the Central Region, Nicolina Nayeye Dumwa, criticizes the low rate of insurance penetration in Ghana.
Insurance penetration for our country is very low, less than 2%. How do we improve upon it? We can only do this if people know that they can get the benefits of what the insurance is all about. And so that's why we are doing this. In the Central Region, it's not any different, but I can say that within the past 5 years that we started serious education in the central region, it has improved, okay? So what I'm simply basically saying that we're going to continue the education with all the insurance companies. In fact, the insurance companies have taken in the central region have taken the decision that going forward, we are going to move out more than we're doing. So we have a project coming up in August, and we're going to go to every district, making sure that insurance education.
Anthony Bolu is the Central Regional Chairman for the Ghana Insurance Association, and he shares what is being instituted for farmers and fisher folks.
With the farmers and the fisher folks, what we are doing is mostly about the micro insurance. So if you are a fisherman, we know that the expenses that you make, you go in to get your fishes and all those ones, at least the little that you have, you need to protect it. So the insurance industry has also made a room for those little, peasant farmers, the fisher folks, that if you are a seller, the insurance doors are open for you. If you need any advice about it, you come, we will advise you accordingly, the policies that are suited for whatever you are doing.
From Cape Coast, Abigail Ablekuma reports for Joy News.
Wesley Girls High School has been crowned champions of the 2025 Central Regional Championship of the National Science and Maths Quiz after an intense high-stakes final that kept the packed SGS auditorium on edge. With defending champions at Disadel College already out of the race, the contest was wide open and the Gehe girls rose to the occasion, outsmarting three powerhouse schools to claim the coveted title. My colleague Adobe Asari interacted with them earlier.
Addition, polymerization reaction.
The final bell rang for the last riddle, and that was it. Wesley Girls High School had done it. They had won the final contest of the 2025 National Science and Maths Quiz Central Regional Championship. It was a tough battle between four strong schools: Mfansipim School, St. Augustine's College, University Practice Senior High, and Wesley Girls. Before the contest began, the atmosphere was charged. All schools but one were on their feet singing Jama songs at the top of their lungs. The only quiet group, Wesley Girls, calmly seated and focused. The contest kicked off, and by the end of round one, 3 schools were already celebrating: St. Augustine's, University Practice, and Wesley Girls. And Mfansipim, not so much. Round 2 belonged to St. Augustine's and Wesley Girls. They dominated the speed race, picking up key points. When the round ended, something unexpected happened. UP and Ogasco, rivals in the contest, teamed up to tease Mfansipim, who had fallen to the bottom of the scoreboard. Ogasco was still in the lead. Wesley Girls was following closely. University Practice held 3rd place, and Buttress sat in 4th. The third round gave Mfansipim a bit of a comeback. They answered nearly all their questions right, missing just one. It sparked some hope in the crowd. But it wasn't enough. They were still in 4th. Meanwhile, Wesley Girls and St. Augustine's were now tied with 36 points each. UP was just 2 points behind with 34. That meant everything would come down to the final round, the riddles. St. Augustine's rang in the first and got it right. Wesley Girls followed and nailed the next one too. All 4 schools missed the 3rd riddle, and then came the final question.
And the process that resulted in the increase in the number of chemical compounds. I occur without the elimination of any small molecules of byproducts.
Wesley girls rang the bell. And got it right. As they jubilated, Butcher boys also went wild, celebrating their girls and teasing Augustans.
I'm feeling very, very excited. I'm so happy. I would like to thank God so much for helping us through our first contest. We were supposed to have our contest yesterday, but then due to some circumstances, we couldn't have that. So today we had our contest and God saw us through. We emerged victorious. We went to the final and then God helped us. God has been so good to us. So I would like to extend my greatest gratitude to God.
With that final answer, they sealed the win. Their second time being crowned Central Regional Champions of the National Science and Math Quiz. For Joy News, Adobe Asari.
And that's it. Time for me to now bring in Sweetie Abochi to bring you the AM Business.
This is the business update on the AM News Belt. Now, economist Dr. Eduowusu Sarkodie is asking governments to direct significant amounts of IMF cash to the agricultural sector. It follows news that government could, in the coming weeks, start drawing down the $367 million IMF fund from the Bank of Ghana to finance some budget projects. Dr. Edu Sarkodie says focusing on this sector could greatly turn around the fortunes of the economy.
If you take a look at the 2025 budget, the government is not committing itself so much to huge expenditures. They are containing expenditure. They want to stay within the budget, make things tight. And so the sectors that stand out that could get funding or being financed by the IMF released will be maybe first to agriculture production, because we want to contain food inflation. You don't want food prices to increase that much. You want to ensure food security. And so, we advocate that a greater part of it should go to agriculture. And then, if you read the IMF documents, they have been praising the government of Ghana for securing or cushioning the poor and the vulnerable in society. So all the social intervention programs which has been listed, the free SHS, capitation grant, livelihood empowerment against poverty, school feeding program, etc., etc. So I believe that another part, a greater part of the money should go into cushioning the poor and the vulnerable in society. We know how tight things have been, especially also with the quarterly adjustment of tariffs, the impact on businesses, the impact on us. So agriculture and safety nets should take the lead in terms of which items will be on top of the scale of preference.
Now let's take a look at what's happening in the commodity market.